India is the largest democracy of the world. The Constitution of India provided India as the federal setup. In a federal system, all the administrative powers are divided into central government and state government. And our another thing is our India or the government of India has three branches. One is legislative, another one is executive and judiciary. And the parliament and president or parliament under president form the legislative branch of Indian government. So in this chapter, I will discuss about the legislative branch of the government, and here I will discuss about both the houses of the parliament, the term, the composition of the houses, and after that the qualifications of membership, then functions of speaker, and finally power and functions of Indian parliament. As we all know that Indian parliament is the policy making body and this is the first chapter from civics part class 10 ICSE.
So in chapter number 1, that is the Union Parliament, we will learn about these topics. The first topic is term, composition, qualification of membership. The next one is parliamentary procedure like sessions, then question hour, 0 hour, quorum, adjournment motion, no confidence motion, and after that the election and function of the speaker. Speaker means the presiding officer of Lok Sabha. Okay, how the speaker elects or who elects the speaker or presiding officer of Lok Sabha, and after that the power and functions of the Union Parliament. So all these topics you will learn in this chapter. Okay, the Union Parliament. The Parliament is the body of people representatives who have supreme power of governance in a democratic country. The Parliament of India, together with the President and the two houses, forms the Union Legislature. The lower house is called the House of People or Lok Sabha. This is the lower house or Lok Sabha or House of Peoples. While the upper house is known as Council of States or the Rajya Sabha. That means Council of States or Rajya Sabha. Now I will discuss about term, composition, qualifications of member and parliamentary procedure, and after that the power and functions of the speaker. So firstly the term. The normal term of Rajya Sabha is 6 years and normal term of Lok Sabha is 5 years. The Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. It cannot be dissolved like Lok Sabha. Each member of Rajya Sabha is elected for a period of 6 years. 1/3 of total members of the house retire after every 2 years. Members can be re-elected if they so desire and if their electors support them. So mainly the normal term is 6 years for Rajya Sabha. And in Lok Sabha, according to the constitution, the term of Lok Sabha is 5 years. However, it can be dissolved before the expiry of its normal term by the president on the advice of Prime Minister. Okay, the next point is composition. It's very important. So the composition. In Rajya Sabha, the maximum strength is 250. Out of 250, 238 elected from the states and union territories. So 238 elected from states and union territories, and 12 nominated by the president. 12 members are nominated by the president. And the maximum strength is 552 in Lok Sabha. Out of 552, 530 from states plus 20 from union territories and 2 Anglo-Indians. Okay, so not more than 530 members shall represent the states, not more than 20 members shall represent the union territories, and 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community may be nominated by the president to the Lok Sabha in case he feels that this community is not adequately represented. Now, the allotment of members to the various states is made on a population basis. Uttar Pradesh is represented in Lok Sabha by 80 members. Maharashtra sends 48 members. Goa, Manipur and Meghalaya 2 each, and Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim 1 each, and the Union Territory of Delhi sends 7 members to the Lok Sabha. So this is mainly the composition of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Now the next topic is qualifications of members. The first one is should be an Indian. So he or she should be an Indian citizen, and the next one is not less than 30 years. Okay, in Rajya Sabha, not less than 30 years. He should be at least 30 years of age, and in the case of Lok Sabha, not less than 25 years. Okay, he should be or she should be at least 25 years, and after that should not hold any government job. Should not hold any government job. The same. And after that should be mentally sound. Should be mentally sound. Should be proclaimed. Should not be a proclaimed criminal. So all these points or all these are the qualifications of membership in Rajya Sabha and in Lok Sabha. All the qualifications are like similar, only the age is difference, where 30 years is the minimum age limit for Rajya Sabha, and here it's 25 years for Lok Sabha. Now the next topic is the parliamentary procedure. So in parliamentary procedure, some facilities which the legislator have to observe in the parliament as well as in the state legislature are called the parliamentary procedure. Some of them are like sessions, quorum, question hour, 0 hour, then motions like adjournment motion, no confidence motion. So according to your syllabus, you have only sessions, quorum, question hour, adjournment motion and no confidence motion. So first one is sessions. The president summons each house of parliament. Each house shall meet at least twice a year, and the interval between two consecutive sessions shall be less than 6 months. Achha, normally there are 3 sessions in a year. First one is budget session or winter session, that is budget session from February to May, and after that the monsoon session, and lastly the winter session, November to December. So the first one is budget session or summer session, okay, February to May. The next one is monsoon session, July, August, and the winter session. And the next one is quorum. Quorum means the minimum number of members required to be present in order to transact its business. The quorum is 1/10. The quorum is 1/10 of the total membership. The next point is question hour. Question hour. The first hour from 11 a.m. to 12 o'clock is mainly question hour. 3 types of questions are there, mainly start question, unstart question, short notice question. Okay, so start question are those to which a member wishes to have an oral answer on the floor of the house. Such questions are indicated by an asterisk mark. Supplementary questions may be asked after replies to such questions are given by the ministers. The next one is unstart questions, are questions to which answer are given in a written form. No supplementary questions can be asked thereon. The last one is short notice questions relate to a matter of urgent importance. Such questions are asked with which a notice shorter than of 10 days. The minister concerned has to be asked whether he can reply to the question at a short notice. It is for him to accept or not to accept short notice questions. It's total up to the minister. The next point is 0 hour. 0 hours begins at 12 o'clock till lunch break. Members raise all types of questions without any permission or prior notice. Okay, now 2 motions are there, adjournment motion and no confidence motion. In your syllabus, only two motions are there. So motion is a formal proposal made by a member stating that the house should take up some particular matters which is of public importance. Okay, proposals. So what is adjournment motion? First point is adjournment motion. So an adjournment motion means a proposal to lay aside all other business and take up a definite matter of urgent importance. Such a motion leads to the interruption of the normal business of the house. Here business mean workings. Okay, so adjournment motion are generally allowed and subjects such as a railway accident, okay, resulting in the death of several persons, a daring dacoity, some natural calamities like a devastating flood or a tornado, communal tensions, etc. And the next one is very important, no confidence motion. So no confidence motion. A no confidence motion is a proposal expressing lack of confidence in the ministry. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the entire Lok Sabha, including the members of the opposition. No confidence in the government is moved by the opposition parties or by the opposition. The House grants leave to move no confidence only when it has the support of at least 50 members. The motion has to be taken up for discussion within 10 days from the day on which the leave, means the permission, is granted. On conclusion of the debate, the speaker puts the motion to vote. If motion is passed, the government has to resign. That means no confidence motion mainly moved by the opposition against the government, and the minimum requirement is 50 members. Okay. I'm coming to the role and functions of the speaker. The speaker is the presiding officer of Lok Sabha. He conducts the business of the house. He occupies a position of great authority and responsibility. He has wide powers to maintain discipline in the house. And now the election. The speaker of the Lok Sabha is elected from among its own members soon after the newly elected house meets for the first time. That means the speaker mainly elected by the members of Lok Sabha only. Okay, now we can divide the functions of speaker into 5 heads. The number one is the business of the house. The number one is business of the house. Second one, administrative functions. Then the disciplinary function, parliamentary committee, and miscellaneous functions. So first one is the business of the house. The speaker presides over the meetings of the house. All speeches and remarks are addressed to the speaker. He allows time for discussion. That means no member of Lok Sabha can communicate with other member directly. Okay, so every member of Lok Sabha, they need to communicate with the other members or ministers through the speaker. Next one is the speaker interprets the rules of procedure of the house. His decision in all parliamentary matters is final, and all bills passed by the house are signed by him before they are sent to the Rajya Sabha for its consideration or to the president for his assent. The next another word is the speaker decides whether a bill is a money bill or not. So these are some functions of speaker. The next one is administrative functions. The speaker receives all petitions, documents in the house. He or she communicates the decision of the house to the concerned authority. The third one is the speaker regulates the admission of visitors and press to the galleries of the house. The next one is disciplinary function. The speaker maintains the order in the house. When members become unruly, he may order them to withdraw. He may suspend a member if he or she disregards the authority of the chair. In case of great disorder, he or she can adjourn the house. So these are some disciplinary function. And after that, the parliamentary committee. The speaker is the ex officio chairman of some of the committees of house, such as the business advisory committee and the rules committee. The second point is he appoints chairman of all the committees of the house. So the speaker is ex officio chairman of some of the parliamentary committees, and he appoints chairman of all the committees appointed by the house. And the next one is he issues direction to the chairman in all matters relating to their working and the procedure to be followed. And the last one is miscellaneous. Okay, the speaker presides over joint session of both the houses of the parliament if required. The next one is he presides over the conference of presiding officers of legislative bodies in India. Legislative bodies means state legislative bodies in India. He presides over the conference of presiding officers of legislative bodies in India. Okay, so this is the power and functions of the Union Parliament. We can divide the power and functions of the Union Parliament into 6 sets. First one is legislative power and functions. After that, financial, judicial, constitutional, executive, electoral. So we can divide the power and functions into 6 heads. Now we'll discuss about the legislative power and functions. Okay, the Constitution of India has provided for a division of powers between central and state governments. Under 7th schedule, there are 3 lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. So in all these 3 lists, Union Parliament can make laws. The first one is matters in the union list. The union list has a range of 97 subjects under which the parliament can make laws. This includes defense, foreign affairs, railways, etc. The next one is that state list, matters in the state list. The state list includes subjects under which the legislature of the state may make laws. It includes public order, police, public health, and sanitation. And the next one is matters in the concurrent list. The concurrent list includes subjects that give powers to both the central and state governments. It includes subjects like education, forest, criminal laws, etc. But in case of conflict between a union law and a state law made on particular subject of the concurrent list, the law made by the parliament will exist. On these 3 lists, the parliament may make laws. Now the next point is residuary power. The parliament possesses residuary powers. It means that it can make laws with respect to all those matters which are not mentioned in any of the 3 lists: the union list, state list, and the concurrent list. Okay. The next point is ordinances. Ordinances are laws promulgated by the President of India on the recommendation of the Union Cabinet, which will have the same effect as an act of Parliament. They can only be issued when Parliament is not in session. Clear? The next point is power during emergency. When there is a total breakdown of the constitutional machinery in a state of emergency is declared in a state. During the period of emergency, the parliament becomes the legislature in the state concerned and assumed all the powers, including the financial powers of passing the state budget. So these are some of the legislative power and functions of the Union Parliament. Now the second one is the financial power of the Union Parliament. So the first one is budget. The Parliament passes the Union budget containing the estimates of receipt and expenditure of the government for a financial year. The budget is presented in 2 parts, namely the railway budget and the general budget. So The Indian Parliament has the power to pass the budget for one economic year. The next point is supplementary grants. If the amount authorized for the current financial year is not sufficient, the government may take a fresh demand known as the supplementary grants. The next point is vote on account. What is vote on account? If Union Parliament is not passed, or if the Union budget is not passed before the beginning of the new financial year, that is April 1st, there would be no money for the executive to spend. There is therefore a device known as vote on account, which authorizes the executive to draw funds from the consolidated fund until the budget is passed by the Parliament. The next point is salaries. The salaries and allowances of MPs and ministers are determined by the Parliament. Here also Parliament enjoys its power. The last point of financial power is permission for taxes. No tax can be imposed or money spent by the government without the approval of the Parliament. In matters of finance, of Lok Sabha enjoys more powers than Rajya Sabha. Money bills can only be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. Once the money bill go to the Rajya Sabha, they have to be sent back to the Lok Sabha within 14 days. The Lok Sabha may accept or reject the recommendation of Rajya Sabha. So these are some the financial powers of Union Parliament. The next one is judicial power. The first point under judicial power is impeachment of president. Here impeachment means removal of the president, and after that removal of judges of Supreme Court and High Courts, and lastly punishment. So the first one is impeachment. The president can be removed from his office. This is the impeachment of the president I am discussing. The president can be removed from his office by impeachment. The resolution for the impeachment of the president may be introduced either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. In each house, the resolution must be supported by a majority of 2/3 of the total membership of the house. If the other house also finds the president guilty, the president will be impeached from his office. Okay, so the Parliament has the power to remove or impeach impeach the president if the president finds guilty or violate the rules of our constitution. The next one is removal of judges. A judge of the Supreme Court or High Courts can only be removed by the president after a joint address by both the houses. Okay. The last one is punishment. The Parliament may punish a person for disobeying or disrespecting the house or obstructing the business of the Parliament, and after that the Parliament can punish one member. Okay. The next point is constitutional power and functions. Constitutional function, that means Parliament can amend any law of the Constitution. Parliament can amend or Parliament can make changes in laws of the Constitution. The next point is executive power and function. Under executive power, the first point is interpellation. What is interpellation? Okay, in the question hour, the ministers are asked questions by the opposition during the very first hour of every sitting in the House of the Parliament. The purpose of the question is to seek information from the government about its policies regarding a matter of public importance. It is a protection against injustice and slackness on the part of the government. Okay, interpellation. The next is vote of no confidence. means if a government acts against the constitutional provisions, it can be voted out of office by passing a vote of no confidence against the prime minister or the ministry as a whole or any of its member. In such a case, the whole ministry has to resign. And after that, the power and functions regarding adjournment, about adjournment motion, other motions of censure and monetary control. So, like for example, monetary control during the budget session, a cut motion may be moved. Okay. Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts ensures that public money is spent in accordance with Parliament's decision. It examines reports of the Controller and Auditor General of India, that is CAI. Now, I have already discussed about that adjournment motion and other motion of censure in early in this chapter. Now the last is the electoral function of the parliament, Union Parliament. Firstly, the elects of the president. Actually, the Indian president is elected by one electoral college, and in electoral college the members were from both the houses of the the members of both the houses, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the state legislative members. They actually formed the electoral college and they elect the president of India. And after that, the elects of vice president, election of vice president. Union Parliament can elect the vice president, okay, vice president or the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha. The next one is Lok Sabha elects the speaker. Lok Sabha, lower house, the members of Lok Sabha, they elect their own members. The Lok Sabha can elect their own speaker, okay, and mainly the speaker is elected by the members of Lok Sabha only. And the last one is Rajya Sabha elects deputy chairman from the members of Rajya Sabha. So chairman is vice president and the deputy chairman is elected by the members of Rajya Sabha. Okay, so these are some power and functions of Union Parliament, or we actually divide it into 6 main points. There are other power of Indian Parliament, like the Parliament may alter the name or boundary of the state if needed. It can also form a new state by merging the territories of existing states or by separating a part of a territory from a state. It makes laws regarding the composition, jurisdiction of and powers of the Supreme Court. The Parliament may establish a common high court for 2 or more states. So all these are the power and functions of the Union Parliament.
So this was the chapter. You need to study the topics which are in syllabus only, and the syllabus is given in the first page of every chapter. So follow the syllabus, study, and keep watching my channel. Like it, share it, and subscribe my channel.